It's finals time! Welcome back to our Pokemon Labs League Challenge. This is going to determine who picks up a win and 15 points. We've got Anthony and Abhyu as our finalists. Anthony coming off an undefeated streak right now, 5-0. Abhyu 4-1, and his only loss is Anthony. So coming back for redemption in this finals. And we got a bit of weather wars. It's going to be a not necessarily snow-centric, but at least snow-oriented team facing a heavy rain mouse ape combo as they get ready. You're going to see Anthony on the left, you're going to see Abhyu on the right, and this should be a very, I would say fiery final, but it's rain and snow, it's not fire. Not sun. So.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of Abhyu's team earlier, particularly against Tyler's Pelipper Archaludon team. Of course, basically everything else around it was very different, and the question here, do those differences, how much do those differences affect things for how Abhyu is able to play this game out? Because, I mean, the big question always with Archaludon, but especially in this matchup, is how do you get the Archaludon out of the way?
Yeah, I think the Arch is going to be obviously a big deal. You do have Garchomp, which is good, and if you decide to remove the Garchomp, or it decides to remove the Garchomp and tears to grass, you've got that Ninetales ready to just go ahead and deal 50%.
You have a ton of super effective stuff against grass types, which a lot of teams don't, but you have the Ninetales, you have the Brave Bird, you have the Terraflying Terrablast from Dragonite.
Everything but
different options.
And Garchomp, but then still helps into Archaludon. What's interesting too is if you force the Terra, you can go for Golden Go, and we could see Steel Beam again, which could do a lot of damage. It's literally it's literally the same base power as Hyper Beam. It's just Steel Hyper Beam, literally.
Yeah, that's why it's called Steel Beam.
Literally. And so I always feel like Steel Beam with the move, I just always assume the Pokemon takes out a giant Steel Beam and just whacks the opposing Pokemon with it. That's what I envision.
We got to see it used earlier, but we didn't get to see the animation. I'd like to see the animation for it.
It would be fun. But either way, I think both players are locked in. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see a hard rain lead for Anthony and for Abhyu. I think Alan Chomp is probably the safest bet into either one, because that is definitely the best lead into Annihilate and Mousehold. And into Rain, it's not even half bad, because it might force the Archaludon to go for a Terra. We're going to see Primarina Dragonite, actually, on Abhyu's side, and Anthony going to go ahead and lead here with that Mousehold and, Archaludon. And with Mousehold comes Beat Up, and with Beat Up comes +4 Stamina.
Sure does, which might, well, Primarina does have Haze at the very least.
That is true.
So you're going to be able to get rid of that if you do not get knocked out, like, immediately, which is very plausible.
I feel like it's...
And Dragonite can go for, like, a big low kick against the Archaludon.
Yeah, like 50%, pretty much.
So it'll be nice.
It's got Follow Me as well in the Mousehold to kind of threaten things.
Yeah, and that's the thing, where in this situation, does, like, a low kick plus a Moonblast not knock out the Archaludon just straight up? Well, I guess we're not going to find out.
No. But it's interesting. It's very passive lead on both sides, and that's why I think we're going to see a swap into Ninetales. Not 100% a fan of that.
Actually, not as scary, because Archaludon doesn't have a Steel move.
There's the Beat Up.
There's the Beat Up.
What's it going to hit, though, is my question. Maybe it's just trying to take the hit from the Dragonite, but it can't really body press. And well, assuming that you didn't expect the swap out there, it couldn't really body press in it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it just goes for...
like a Snarl or something?
Yeah, something along the lines of that. Or... maybe a wrong call that Abhyu got wrong in the Flash Cannon into what was the Dragonite.
Still not a Flash Cannon.
No, it's Snarl.
Yeah. It doesn't have Flash Cannon. That's
oh, yeah. Okay, not a Flash Cannon.
Yeah.
It could go for Steel Beam. No, I'm just kidding.
It could have gone for Body Press. Like a Body Press into that which slot would have still been good damage.
Yeah.
That did nothing. I know it dropped the special attack there, but that did nothing.
That is very bulky Archaludon. It's actually solid, though. I think you have to swap Pelipper out. Or swap into Pelipper for the Mousehold just to dodge a Blizzard.
The thing is, then you get froze dried. That Pelipper gets froze dried if you try to mess around with that.
Absolutely.
And Haze also probably comes out this turn.
Oh wait, hold on a minute. There's a very good, very, very, very good play here. Okay, well, assuming if you expected the switch into Pelipper, I would have said you go for the Encore onto Archaludon, and you would hard swap out your Primarina into a physical attacker or Dragonite. I think that would have been good, but there was no switch out there from Anthony. The Follow Me is just what comes into play, which if you go for Blizzard here, it's pretty safe. It's freeze dry, so I expected the switch out.
I like the read. Didn't end up doing anything.
Yeah.
But I liked it. And that body press. Wow. Ninetales eats.
That's no boost.
Hyper voice. Oh, that was Abhyu reading the switch out. You could tell.
Yeah.
Like that would have knocked out the Pelipper.
Yeah.
In that case, and the Ninetales would have been able to switch out, switch back in, get the rain up.
Now you take the risk of, do you Blizzard into Rain potential? I think the answer is yes. I think you Blizzard and Moonblast into the Archaludon. However, you've got Body Press potential now with Primarina, and that's not great. One thing to note with this Primarina, it is Mystic Water. It's not Hyper Voice, so you don't really have to worry about swapping out after Hyper Voice. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and just switch into Dragonite again, or Golden Go if you have it, because the Body Press into the Primarina slot is pretty likely. We're going to see Grimmsnarl, not Pelipper. I think Anthony's playing a bit of mind games too with that. I'm not bringing in the Pelipper yet. I don't have Pelipper. Ooh. Oh! Freeze on the Archaludon!
Oh, the luck of the Abhyu. Got it against Styler earlier and absolutely getting the luck here. Gonna do good damage against the Archaludon, but remember the freeze is just a static chance of unfreezing every turn. So
Isn't it 10%, I believe?
It's something around there, yeah. Which then means that you could be frozen for a long while. If Abhyu wants to try to deal with the rest of the team, although at the same time, Abhyu at this point can probably figure out that Pelipper is the last Pokemon in the back, meaning that none of these Pokemon really do damage except for the Archaludon, and if you can get rid of this Archaludon, Abhyu might have the game locked up.
Why have we seen so many Dragonites get Sask conditioned today?
There's the freeze.
I think that one freeze just is what you needed. Yeah, Hyper Voice will do some decent damage on the Grimmsnarl, not a ton onto Archaludon. You kind of need one more freeze now, just to Moonblast the Archaludon out here.
Yeah, I think you need one more freeze turn. Get it.
I think you double target Archaludon. I think you low kick plus Moonblast, just in case you're scared of one of the other screens here.
One of them will hit. Ugh. Oh, Dragonite. That was a E-speed. That was an extreme
That was definitely
speed.
extreme speed.
Yeah.
And we're going to see the Archaludon thaw!
Archaludon does thaw out.
And that Body Press is going to remove Primarina. It's not the end of the world, because you've got a couple Pokemon that are still faster. You've got the Ninetales, you've got the Golden Go, most likely, if you're Abhyu. So you've got two faster options, especially looking at what's in the back. And Golden Go's very good here.
Golden Go the chipper. It will try to chip down Archaludon's HP.
I think that's the way to do it, is
just go. That one? Chipper?
I like it. I think it was clever. It was clever. But I think that,
but I do think a Shadow Ball probably knocks it out from this range.
It should. Steel Beam! No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think that's the ideal way to go about it right now.
It is not. We saw it, wasn't.
But that's the issue here for Anthony, is that you really don't have much damage. You do have the mega offensive Pelipper.
Yeah.
But that Pelipper only gets you so far, especially if it does not have the weather up. Like if you're running that Pelipper without the rain, you're done for.
Yeah.
E-speed not going to pick up the knockout onto that Grimmsnarl. The Shadow Ball does come out ahead of the Archaludon. Picks up the knockout. Archaludon's out of the way. Raid boss down.
I think
we'll see if Abhyu can take out the rest of this team. Big Spirit Break onto the Dragonite. That's not going to pick up the knockout. Does some good damage.
You got to swap the Golden Go right now. You have to. Have to. And that is why. Because Mousehold does not get it. Follow me with Shadow Balls.
Certainly true. I forgot about the specs and Golden Go.
But it's totally fine, because you can go in and then finish things off.
I guess the problem is if you switch out the Golden Go, you do not get the... you don't get the... No. Presuming Pelipper in the back.
I think you don't need the snow. I think you just click Thunderbolt on Golden Go for the rest of the... I mean, what can... The worry...
Yeah.
You just click Thunderbolt, I think...
You take a hit. Yeah, you take a hit as Golden Go.
I think that's just kind of the play. Is you just keep Thunderbolting.
Feels bad, though.
Ooh, whoa!
You can see the Terra here. I think that's Anthony's Terra. Yeah, it's the Terra Steel on the Grimmsnarl, which will actually let it take a Extreme Speed, I'd imagine.
I don't think you're going to be trying to Extreme Speed the Grimmsnarl, but that's me. Well, duh, because otherwise Shadow Ball goes onto Mousehold.
Yeah.
That was a good call, though, I guess, to try and just dodge here.
And it doesn't matter.
But I still think
that wasn't Extreme Speed.
Yeah, I was going to say the Shadow Ball is just going to connect with. Grimmsnarl, and it's going to be able to up a KO on Grimmsnarl.
Yep. It wasn't a super... Well, I guess it probably would have been ideal to hold on to that Terra in order to let Pelipper Terra Stellar Blast.
I think now Abhyu has the clearest play ever, which is to Extreme Speed the Mouse Hold and swap Golden Go and to Ninetales. It doesn't matter if Ninetales goes down. Pelipper's moves are Hurricane into a Steel type, Terra, or not Terra, but a Snow type, Weather Ball into a Steel type, and Mouse Hold. That's it. I think you just click, and then you click Thunderbolt, which onto the Mouse Hold probably. I would imagine first, and that will do it. But if you can get an Extreme Speed out, great. You know, that would be nice to just kind of get rid of the mouse, and then you just click Thunderbolt onto the Pelipper. But
that was a sick bar right there. Nice, get rid of them. It was good. I like that.
There you go. I was a poet, and I had no idea. I had to do that. No,
Extreme Speed does go through the para, knocks out the mouse hold. It's just one lonely little duck remaining. It's a excuse me, a pelican. It does land the Hurricane, knocks out the Dragonite, but that's probably bad because it means now you get Freeze Dried.
So, which 4-type weakness do you want? Freeze Dry or Thunderbolt?
Yup.
Your choice. Yeah, this is gonna... And it is a Life Orb Pelipper, so... even if it wasn't, the sash was broken. So there's no getting out of that for Anthony. And Abhyu, 1 game win away from winning the League Challenge.
Yeah, Abhyu with the Game 1 victory. Turned it around. Obviously, we said he lost that matchup against Anthony in the Swiss rounds, but... 1 more and he'll win this tournament, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. That's all that gives you the championship points.
Yep. Gotta just... And plus, when you play someone in Swiss that you could potentially play later, that is a very good learning experience. You know, you start picking up on things like, oh, this is probably what I'm going to try. This is what I'm going to try. Like, I played Abhyu a couple days ago in the same exact position, where we faced each other twice, once in Swiss and once in Top Cut. And the amount of lead changes that we did between the 6 games we played was insane. It was just, like, literally, I don't think any game had an exact same leads on both sides. One of us always swapped something. And I think that shows you, like, okay, if you can adapt, it gives you better options. Like we're seeing again with Abhyu right now. And Abhyu's just a really good player when it comes to adapting like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another lead change, anticipating the same type of team, or the same 4 that Anthony brought in, but it's going to be a bit of a different 4 here.
Well, yeah, and I guess the big question is, what do you do, like, because for Anthony, I mean, this team is obviously very good. It got Anthony all the way into this final situation. But you have 3 Pokemon that are basically non-entities on the field. They just don't do damage. Like, they're barely a threat at all. Spirit Break between 3 of these Pokemon is probably the strongest move. Pelipper is also very slow, so even though it is a Life Orb, Terra Stellar, it's got more threatening damage, it's also very slow and loses a lot of late-game situations. So you're relying a lot on Annihilate and Archaludon to be able to win games.
And I think here, looking at the 4 Pokemon Anthony put out, you're relying a...
Annihilate gets lit up by Moonblast.
It does. And this Annihilate's Terra Dragon, so that's fun. I think you swap. Just go for... Oh, this is not... I don't think this is right.
This is really bad.
You also have Ice Spinner on Dragonite, which I would not fault at all if you played it. If you're up, you gotta play. I mean, the good news.
Yeah, please go for that read.
Yeah.
There is the Terra Dragon on the Annihilate. I mean, I think the hope for Anthony is getting rid of the Primarina immediately.
Yeah.
But if the Primarina protects this turn, that's
some scary. That's scary.
It's the Terra. This might be Terra Flying. Yeah. Terra Flying Terra Blast is going to be good damage regardless.
I think you gotta beat up.
Yeah. And the problem then is that Annihilate is still in a really bad spot. Even if that play goes perfectly, Annihilate is still in kind of a bad spot, and if that happens, then Abhyu kind of wins.
Yeah, this
has to KO. This has to KO Primarina, or this game is over.
And it does.
And it do. Yeah.
It does.
I was gonna say it probably is gonna KO, but it did have to KO. Yeah. And this Terra Blast is pretty nice for Anthony, all things considered. It's not super effective, although it is stab. It's super boosted. Does some real good damage there.
This would be a good swap in, depending on what comes out. I mean, if it's Golden Go, you're going to be faster in its choice spec, so you're going to get hit something and you're able to redirect. But I actually think the Golden, it might be the right play. No, because you got the Terra.
I like Ninetales here.
I think you swap the Annihilate out into Pelipper, remove, and then just beat up on Ninetales. You could protect beat up on Ninetales, or Grimmsnarl. That's very smart. It's still tricky though, because no matter what comes out, like, oh no, wait a minute. Okay, you kind of have just trapped yourself into a very obvious play for Anthony, because this Ninetales has Blizzard. I mean, Encore. And you just protected in front of an Encore Mon that's faster than you. You have to Thunderwave the Ninetales, or you lose the game right now, Anthony, because you just get locked into Protect, and that will just get rid of you. Yeah, the Extreme Speed, I assume, will also get rid of you.
Extreme Speed will be close. I wouldn't 100% trust it, but it'll be close.
You gotta Thunderwave the Ninetales.
Blizzard does to Grimmsnarl. Not a ton. And the freeze. And the freeze.
I
was so close to saying hold for freeze. I mean, you can unfreeze immediately. So you can unfreeze and get the Thunderwave off of instantly.
That is what you need. If you don't do that, it's over.
There's the E-Speed.
It does pick up a knockout.
And it doesn't matter. The Annihilate gets the...
Anthony is taking off the
extreme speed. Oh, what a play from Abhyu.
That was...
And the Grimmsnarl's frozen solid. Hey, I mean, it was really good play by Abhyu, even aside from the freeze.
It was. It was a brilliant play.
The freeze might just bring on the end faster than it necessarily needed to come.
And I think now it's time for some freeze dry.
Yeah, because that Pelipper is slow. Pelipper is very slow. That is the one really big disadvantage of Pelipper, is that it's really slow.
Grimmsnarl does not get the
And Grimmsnarl does not get that unfreeze.
Anthony used his freeze luck last turn, or last match. How Abhyu with the double freeze in the same final set.
Hey, Blizzard's a crazy move.
Terraboss, I think this is going to pick up a knockout, especially because it's Terra boosted.
Yep.
And there it is.
Terra boosted. Yep.
That's it. It's unless it beat up. As the only...
Oh, wait, no, it does have beat up, so even if Golden goes in the back, it can hit it. One single beat up.
Beat up, one beat up,
one beat
three mice against the world. And that's going to do it. Abhyu is the League Challenge champion! Abhyu coming off, what a week for Abhyu. Third place in another challenge, first place in this challenge. That is right away 25 points.
Yeah.
That's a good, and 2 of your best finish limit for leagues, essentially. At least to get top 4. That's been the goal, what we've been talking about for a lot of the players, is just get 4 top 4 finishes. That's a great start. And, I mean, Abhyu, it's what we were saying, like I said, you play against someone, and the whole time you're kind of learning, even if you lose in Swiss, and you can use that to your advantage in the finals, and it's exactly what we saw here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Abhyu definitely took advantage of, I guess, the difference between like his team and Anthony's team fundamentally, which is that Abhyu's team doesn't have any Mons that really aren't instant threats on the field. Like, don't have some immediate, oh man, I have to deal with this. While Anthony, there are some Pokemon where it's like, okay, if Grimmsnarl gets a free turn off to get a Thunder Wave off, that can be bad. That can affect the game down the line. But you don't have to be worried about like it clicking like Blizzard or Freeze Dry like the Alola Ninetales is able to do, which got, what, 2 KOs in that game? Well, it got the freeze and it got like a whole KO on the Pelipper.
I got 2 freezes.
Yeah, I got 2 freezes in the set. Even just in the last game, it did a bunch, though.
Yeah, and Alola Ninetales is so scary as a offensive mon. It is, I mean, when you, and not to mention the Encore, which again trapped that Annihilate eventually. It's just, it's scary. It is just a scary, scary Pokemon. And yeah, really well-balanced team for Abhyu and Anthony. Well played.